Okay, so the answer to that is 21.9723. So I get, so really, this side over here, if I round it to 27.97, probably even round up to 22 if I wanted to. Let's just say A is equal to 22. Not as precise, but at least I've solved it now. A is equal to, 22. So that would be my answer for the first one, solving for a side length. Secondly, I can find an angle by using inverse sine. So let me show you this one here. This one, we have 114 degrees there, and we are looking across from angle A there and angle B there. So this is little b and this is little a, so I would say sine of A is equal to, sine of A divided by 23 is equal to sine of 114, which is B, divided by 42. Then from there, in order to solve for sine of A, I've got two steps basically. The first thing I'm going to do is multiply both sides by 23, because that's going to cancel that off. And then I'm going to take the inverse sine. So I have sine A is equal to sine of 114 divided by 42 times 23. And so I'm going to take the inverse sine of both sides, sine negative 1, sine negative 1. So on my calculator, I'm going to type this. A is actually equal to sine negative 1 of sine 114 divided by 42 times 23. So it looks like a lot of numbers, but it should give us a value we can deal with. So we'll take the inverse sine of sine of 114 divided by 42 times 23. So it gives me, I didn't do it right. Let me see if I can get rid of that. So times by 23. So I get 30.018. So probably about 30 degrees. The measure of angle A is equal to 30 degrees. Okay, so that is how we solve those two examples. You'll have one more type of example that you're going to do, and that is where they ask you to solve the whole triangle. So the process on this, I don't know if I want to work this example or not, but the process is you've got to find one missing piece, then another missing piece, then another missing piece, and go from there. So you would start by finding side C, and you know B. So you'd set this up as sine of 82 over 34 is equal to sine 74 over C, and that would give you side C. And so once you found that value, you could turn right around and calculate the other values using the law of sines. Okay, so also you can find a measure of angle A by doing 180 minus 74 minus 82. So what is that special case I was talking about? What is that error that we get? Let me go back to this here. We have a special case, and that's when our values are a little bit different. So if we have a triangle, let's say ABC here, and little a, little b, and little c, and of course the height, which would be a 90 degrees right here, what you need to, if your a value is equal to your h, which means that the side length across from angle A is equal to the height, then what you have is a 90-degree triangle. In that case, you can simply, you don't have to use a law of sines anymore. You can just use sine, cosine, and tangent to solve it. If, though, your A value is smaller than your B value, so this side next to it, and this is why the SSA doesn't work. SSA can't work in this case because you could have two possibilities. You could have that length here with an acute angle, or you could have that same length over here with an obtuse angle. So what you need to kind of keep in the back of your mind is that this is what we call, this is possibly has two cases when A is less than B. So you have an angle, and then a side, and then another side. when you have an angle and a side, then what you realize is if that A is shorter than B, then you've got a possibility of 2 cases coming out. So when you solve it, you'll find the acute one. For example, you may find this is 77 degrees. If you find that that's 77 degrees, then the second case is that angle B over here is actually equal to 180 minus 77, or 103 degrees. So you've got to watch out for 2 cases, because it could orient as an acute angle, or it could orient as an obtuse angle. So that's the only time that you need to worry, is if A is less than B. So you must always check to see. For example, if I gave you something like this, let's say we had a 53-degree angle here, and a side length of 5, and a side length of 4.1. And I asked you to solve this. Well, then you see this one, that one is smaller than the other one, smaller than 5. Then you have 2 cases, and you gotta subtract from 180. Okay, make sure you've got all these notes and be ready to work some of these problems in class.